Am I live? Yeah, I believe I'm live. I believe anyone is watching, but just in case you're watching this from the beginning, I am testing out streaming my coding jams, some of my coding time on a hobby project. And today, so my hobby project is an app that is written in Flutter, and I'm doing a page, building a page that allows the user to enter their name and add a profile picture. This is what it looks like at this point. So I built it enough to have a validation of inputs on both text fields, the first name and the last name. However, if I fix these issues, it doesn't give me any feedback. I have not uploaded a profile picture yet. So what I'm going to attempt to do today is add a Flutter form or create a Flutter form widget form field, I believe. There's a class called form field. Yes. So I'm going to create a form field, but a custom one that is a profile editor. And I'm going to base it off a text form editor, or form text field. Let's see. Text form field. So text form field is a text field and a form field, or a form field that contains a text field. So basically, it is a special case of a form field. And what I'm going to try to do is basically imitate the behavior of this text form field to something called image form field, or picture form field, something to that effect. So yeah, welcome to this coding jam. I'm not going to be speaking a lot. I might speak once in a while. See how that goes. I'm using this. So let's go. All right. So we have access to the source code of the text form field. We have also access to the API documentations of these things. But like, this is the file that contains code for this page. So if we search for like text form field, see where I created these two text form fields. And if we click command, if we hold command and click, we will drop into the implementation of the text form field. It's kind of cool. So the text form field is used in tandem with something called text form controller, or text controller. There's a controller somewhere. Text editing controller. I think I need to sit back a little bit and understand the relationship between, or like just maybe try to figure out how am I going to structure this image controller. But maybe I can start by just creating the class, because I know this way maybe I can define the API of this widget. So let's start with, let's call it picture or image for, or I mean, right now it's very specific to the profile. It's a profile picture form field. It probably can be generalized later, but like right now it's serving a very specific purpose. So I'm just going to stick to a narrower meaning to this field. So this is going to be a stateful widget to it needs to change its appearance in case the picture is not valid, so I assume it is. But I think form field itself is a stateful widget. So basically, instead of extending stateful widget directly, we extend text, we extend the form field. And what type of data this field is gonna yield for the form. So let's try that out. So basically, I want to create a class profile picture form field extends form field of a certain type, and I'm not 100% sure what that type is yet. It could be a string, it could be the file path to the selected picture. I'll make up my mind in a bit. So let's see, editor is complaining, like always, but you know, I appreciate these actually automated tooling. I have to put, you know, type everything in, so that's great. Right, so we extended form field. I believe we need to create a constructor. Well, this is like one of the longest constructors that I've ever seen, and like I've before looking at this constructor, I didn't realize that Dart had like this syntax where asserts can be used at the tail of the constructor to validate, I guess, the configuration of the constructor input parameters. Also, they have the syntax here to call the super, basically the constructor of the parent class. Something we'll probably need to do because we need to pass on information to our to the form field class. So this is going to be a bit complicated, but let's see about it. So it eventually returns text field. Oh, this is the builder. Okay, the builder returns the text field. Okay. So basically, the analogy here is like the profile editor. There's a container here. Yeah, starting here, which basically maps to this part of the app, and this part of the tree, the widget tree, is what we're going to return here, or like not here, like basically the equivalent place in the profile picture form field. Okay. So let's start with the simplest thing. Let's just create an empty constructor for now, and then like we decide what type of stuff we need for this specific constructor. So I believe this is a basic constructor. Let's see, so it takes a key. I believe the key might be passed on to the parents. Let's see. I guess we can go through this list. Oh my god, this is going to be a long journey. So we're going to go through this list and figure out where are these inputs used and whether they're relevant to our use case. All right, let's go. Key. Exactly, it's past super. So maybe I should actually start by adding that. Let's see, what's the proper syntax? I'm kind of new to Dart, so apologies ahead of time for not being the most effective demoer programming in Dart. Let's see, so this is the opening param of the constructor. And then the constructor takes in a dictionary, I guess like it's named parameters in Dart. And then basically constructor closes here, column. So let's start with this thing. Maybe we should do these things side by side. So, alright. So basically, we need a key here, and we'll use the same. Oh, we need to introduce this. And then key. Start with one parameter for now. This nascent. I think we can do better by even split it horizontally here. And here's the super call. So we do this, we do super, and then key. It's just we're passing it along. We're not actually making use of it. So using this requires a non-nullable language feature to be enabled. Try updating your pubspec to set minimum SDK constraint to 2.12.0 or higher. Is this an error or sounds to me like an error? I mean, what is our current SDK constraint? So SDK constraint, I believe this is a Flutter SDK constraint. So I don't care. Like I'm on the edge of Flutter, so I can put whatever minimum choose to. So 2.12.0 pubspec. Pubspec. Let's see. Environment SDK larger than or equal to 2.2.2, and the error said 12. We can bump this number to 12. I don't believe we need to do a pubget, but I'll just do it because I'm not sure. So let's see, because Gonna Client requires SDK version, blah blah, basically the updated version here. Version solving failed. Pubget failed because Gonna Client requires SDK version and version solving failed. This is not super useful, by the way. Can you tell me why did it fail? Or maybe, okay, I'm gonna revert to, yeah. the secret weapon of every programmer. Basically, Google indexing Stack Overflow. Let's see if this is similar to the issue. I tried to use null safety, but it's giving me this error, blah, blah, blah. Very similar, but different version. I changed my Dart SDK constraint from 2.70 to whatever number was displayed, but it's still showing this error. Also, I upgraded my Dart and Flutter SDK. Oh, it's the Dart SDK. There are two different things. Let's see, Dart SDK version. So Flutter is at 1.21. Okay, but then Dart. Not sure where did I get Dart from. I think it's bundled Dart version. So I'm at 2.12.0. Is this the number that was suggested to enable null safety? Let's see, I'm lost here. Let's take a look. Yeah, it is. Actually, I just realized something. I also set this to 12.0, so I think there's a chance if I switch this to 0, it might work. Let's take a look. Get. That worked. Okay. Okay, so it is maybe the discrepancy. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know. I get stuck on this. The Dart version that I had was lower than the environment requirement here, so it just failed. So I'm just not gonna allow this to get me stuck, because sometimes I do. Anyways, so moving back here, let's see, is this a complaint anymore? No, this complaint is gone. However, I'm getting a new complaint saying the name parameter builder is required. Oh, yeah, to the superconstructor. So in fact, we can reach the superconstructor here and see what stuff are required. So we need to supply a builder. In fact, it's the only thing that is required. Everything else is optional. On-stage, validator, initial value, bunch of, this is getting deprecated, enabled, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So let's listen to this error message and do the next logical thing, which is basically add a builder somewhere. I need to step away for a second. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Scratched my eye and something started irritating my eye. Had to go and wash it out. Okay. I hope it's not Corona. Cool. Let's get back to business. So I was trying to figure out basically, we don't need the split here anymore, at least not for now. So we need to start we want to build, we want to supply the builder, which seems to be essential for this to work. Let's just pass null, just so I can format the file. Didn't format as nice as I would like it to. I'll just force new line. Cool. So yeah, so basically it's not accepting a null to the builder, I think. It's like non-nullable. Basically nullable. I think what this does, recent updates to Flutter, it's like if it can be null, it needs to be explicitly marked with the question mark. Okay, so what are we going to put in builder? I believe it has to be like, okay, let's see what is here. So in this builder, they calculate some, or they populate a text form field state object. I'm not sure what this object is. Oh, I see. So it is a, I see, it says state object based on the form field state. I see. It's a so you need to basically extend the form field widget and the form field state widget. So what they're doing in the builder here is that they are basically creating the state, and then I'm not sure what's the significance of this. Oh, are they? Oh, I think this is. I think they're casting the form field state of a string to text form field state. They're narrowing the scope of casting, and then they're using the state. Let's take a look. So input decoration, they're like based on some inputs, they're applying something. I believe like this is based on constructor parameters. Maybe. Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure how the variable in the builder is bound to the constructor variable, but I would be surprised if it's being passed around in a different way. Yeah, my understanding of Dart is not 100%. I'm building it as we're moving forward. Cool. Unchanged handler. Yeah, it's like some function they're defining and probably going to pass it down to the builder. Probably don't need to care much about many of these things for the moment. I can, I guess I need to define the second class. So maybe I should, just return a stubbed out value here. Let's say just, and just return a text. It says to do. What is the problem here? Oh. Okay, now what's the problem? The argument type text can't be assigned to the parameter type widget. Well, I thought text is a widget. No, it's not a widget. Oh, surprise, surprise. What is... Oh. It is a widget. Why is it doing this? Builder text to do. Argument type text can't be assigned to the parameter widget function. Let me maybe it's worth looking here what the builder is doing. Pretty sure I'm missing something. Oh, so it's defined as a function. Oh, I see. It's a function that takes in this field. Okay. We can adjust for that. That's easy. And I assume they want us to return the widget here. I see. Yeah. In fact, I think this builder is called whenever the form, whatever the form field controller or like the editor decides that the layout of this thing might change. So it should not be constructed immediately. It's like a factory pattern. Okay, so let's go back here and see how do we, why is this returning any errors at all? I'm not sure. Oh, it's no longer returning errors. Well, no, it is actually returning an error. Function buddy must be provided. Try adding a function buddy. But I'm not sure what function are you talking about. Like this is a class, and this is a constructor. Oh, I think it's complaining about the constructor. Let's see how the constructor ends here. Oh, I think it ends with, oh, so it's just like a semicolon here. Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and add this state of this widget. So I'm trying to, just to recap, I'm trying to lay down some structures, like big time structures, like at a high level, so I can fill in details later. So I'm kind of, what I'm doing right now is like I'm copying these high level structures from the text form field into my own profile picture form field, and then I'll figure out the details later. So in this spirit, let's continue. So we can say profile picture field state extends what's the name of this class? Text form field profile picture text form field. I just want to keep the naming consistent really. So we have, and then here we're extending font field state, just like picture profile picture. Yeah, I think it's good. Font field state of string or whatever type that it might not have completely decided on. Cool. Well, let's decide on this type. I want to know actually what is the proper type that I should be using here. Let's take a look. So this widget, basically the container from this level here, downwards is basically all presented to capture this one variable that is called image. And if we look at what image is, it is a file object. And if we look at what's in the file object, it is that's a good question. What is a file object? I mean, it is constructed or built like if there's a factory here that produces file objects if given a path. Okay, how do we use it? Actually, here, let's see. It's going to inspire us in a way. So we have an image, and if it's null, we know that the user has not selected a picture. If it's not null, we display the image that this file contains using the file image widget, which is going to live somewhere here. So that's good to know. The contents of this builder is going to make use of an image object. Where else is it used? Yeah, at the end. What is happening here? Oh, it seems like I forced, like this upgrade that I did, forced many things to change about how I write code. Like I need to check for nullness, but I'm just gonna ignore it for a moment here. I'll fix it when I need to fix it, but let me just focus on here, deciding what's the proper type. So let's see. If this happens after selecting the image and cropping it properly, we assign the cropped value to the image. That's not a biggie. What's next? Next use. Oh, it's like the validation that I wanted to add here before I actually decided that we should add the validation as part of the form. So this actually is not a good idea. Let me remove this. Cool. So basically, I think we should just keep this state like equal to file. I'm gonna go with this for a starter. I am not sure if it's the 100% the thing that we need to do, because it seems to me like we can use a string to represent the path to the file. However, it seems like more straightforward to just use a file, and that might do the trick. So for the time being, I'm just going to use the file object as the state of this profile picture form field. And this is complaining because we need to switch this over to the new type that we've selected. Cool. Now we're getting errors. I think it's the nullness thing. I'm not going to be able to run anything useful until I fix these errors. So maybe it's time to actually do that. All right. It's unfortunate. I really didn't want to deal with this right now, but I have no way of making sure that the code is running smoothly, or it's just like basically building without having to Yeah, it's unfortunate. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at these errors. Fuck it, let's do it. The default list constructor isn't available when null safety is enabled. Try using, so basically what I'm reading is the list library has changed in a way. So like try using a list literal, list filled, or list generate. List filled or list generate. So like I cannot just open, construct this list, and what am I doing here? Oh, like I'm adding pages in the router. God damn it. Alright, let's see. Deprecated. Use a literal this or list filled constructor instead. Well, I think this is easy to fix, I believe. So we can do this. Perfect. Fixed one error. Fix the next error. What is happening here? In the argument type string function string can't be assigned to the parameter type nullable string function nullable string because string is nullable and string is not nullable. String question mark is nullable versus string isn't. Ooh, okay, so let's see. So the expectation of what the validator's signature is, like making it nullable, is something that is established by the text form field class. So it's not something we can do something about. We just, what we need to do is make sure that our function that we're plugging in as the validator is aware of the nullness of the string. So basically, we can do this, and we can do this, and then here, I believe there is a way to check. Dart has this nifty dereferencing, safe dereferencing of null parameters or null variables. Let's see. Dart is a safe dereferencing null or null safe dereferencing. So Dart language now supports the opt to null safe types non-nullable by default. No, this is not what I want. I want to know how to deal with null dereferencing. Null safety dereference null darts. Okay, let's take a look at this. Cheat code like Dart dereference. Maybe they use a different term, some different terminology, like access or field access. Gosh, let's see, null aware operators. So Dart offers some handy operators for dealing with values that might be null. One is the this assignment operator, which assigns the value to a variable only if that variable is currently null. Interesting. It's not what we want though. Conditional property access. This is exactly what we need. Guard access to a property or method of an object that might be null. Put a question mark before the dots. Preceding code is equivalent to the following. It's basically a check. If my object is not null, then return this property, otherwise return null. You could chain multiple uses of the question mark together. So basically every time you put the question mark, it basically guards against null dereferencing and all. Preceding code returns null and never calls some method if either my object or my object's on property is null. I think there's an extension to this. This is so this is called conditional property access. I think there is a. So let's see, what do we want here? So basically, we want to say validate first name, and it could be null. So we only want to the question here is, if string is null, if this value is null, is this an error at all? And to my understanding is that these form fields can never take on null. It would be an error if they do, but if they did that, I'm not even sure if we want to display a validation error to the user at all. Like the software will be broken. So I guess, actually adding this conditional access here should work, because what happens if this value is null, then this part here will evaluate to null, and this is not equal to 0, so we're not going to return a validation error, and we're just going to return a null, which is there is no problem, there's no error. So I think I'm going to go with this, and I believe it should just work fine. I believe it's this one here. Cool. Let's see. There are more errors. Profile editor, image cropper, blah blah blah. Let's see. Value of type file, blah blah blah. It's the same issue. So basically, I'm using a bunch of libraries that used to take that were not built with null safety, and all of them at some point they just upgraded their APIs by including the question mark in their APIs. So like instead of actually making their libraries foolproof, they just made everything explicitly nullable. That's beautiful. But it's also expected. Like, what else could they have done? All right, so how do we fix this? I believe the problem is here. So they added nullable to some of their input variables. Let's see, image cropper. The value of type file. Oh, it's the return. I see, it's the return type. Okay, and we're already checking for it, so we're already checking for nullness here. So I don't believe we should have a problem. This should be enough. Cool. Profile editor. Yet again. This is very interesting. It's very curious that all of our problems are in the profile editor. I wonder if we're not building the whole app. Like there's going to be more problems in other pages, but we're hitting a lot in the profile editor just because this is the page we're trying to run right now in the simulator. But we'll learn the answer to this in a moment. Meanwhile, let's take a look here. So required name parameter on pressed must be provided. Required name parameter on pressed. On the icon button. I see. Oh, I see. This was actually okay. This is my fault. This has nothing to do with the null list. I think it might. I'm a bit surprised that this issue we're hitting it right now, uh, because it has nothing to do with the upgrade. Sorry, with the version upgrade that I did, but maybe it does. Is icon button part of Dart? I don't know what package is it part of really. Shouldn't be part of Dart. Like it should be part of like some Flutter widget library. Um, but we can fix that easily, I think, by switching to an icon. Really, this should be an icon, not a. So what's the complaint here? What position? It's basically not liking that the it's probably not expecting an icon size. Oh, but it's expecting size, and it's a type double. So we can do this. And then what is the problem? Oh, I think icon takes. How do you specify the icon type? Icon. Oh, it's probably not the widget, it's the. Got it. Oh, no. Nope. Oh, one positional. Sorry. I think the first. Okay, the icon is not is the positional argument. So sorry, we don't even need to specify a name for it here. All we need to do is like pull it up front. Surprised I didn't hit that error earlier. But you know, better than never. Cool. So now this is fixed, and we should probably use the same fix here. Very similar. We're going to use photo library. I'm just going to paste this here, copy this, put it here, and then add this missing comma here. We're good. We're down to 2 errors. Yeah, this must be only restricted to profile editor. The errors, like I'm pretty sure we're going to hit other errors on other pages, but for now, the method validate can't be unconditionally invoked because the receiver can be null. So basically it's saying that the current state can be null. And just to refresh my memory, what is current state here? Oh, confused. Oh, it's the form key. It's the current state of the form key. And the form key is, what is the form key? Can you remind me what the form key is? It's like a global key of a form state. Lovely. Let's take a look. It's the state of the widget. So I guess we can just adopt this surprised this is not fixing the issue. Oh, is it because current state can be null? I mean, of course it can be null. I'm just surprised why applying the question mark here is not fixing the issue. The value of type bool can be assigned because bool? What? Oh, I see. It's like a conditional, a nullable bool. Oh, geez. Okay, let's think about this more. So Just want to check if anyone is watching. It's probably me who's watching myself. But it's okay, I'm recording for posterity. Not expecting anyone to be here, actually. Cool. Funky. So what does it mean for the current state to be um, like, what do I want to treat the null state here? If I can't call validate, I just want to return. Actually, I don't want to, like, something is going to be like extremely messed up about my setup. And just thinking like maybe there is a Dart migration guide actually of this null safety thing. Let's actually search for it. Dart null safety migration. Migrating to null safety. Perfect. Well, this stream is becoming more about how to fix the null safety in Dart rather than building a new widget. But you know, this is the nature of development. You know, you start doing A and then you realize that there's like a bunch of other things you need to do. So I hope it's not all a waste of time. This page describes how and when to migrate your code to null safety. Here are the basic steps for migrating each package that you own. Wait for the packages that you depend on to migrate. Migrate your packages code preferably using the interactive migration tool. Statically analyze your package's code. Test to make sure your changes work. If the package is already on pubdev, publish the null safe version as a pre-release version. I see. So I guess like these changes that were made in the libraries underneath my code are maybe being automated. This is why they just like switched automatically everything to null safe. Or like nullable value types. Migrating an app is technically the same as migrating a package. Yeah, of course, because the app is an app is a package. Before migrating an app, consider waiting for a stable release of Dart SDK that contains null safety. Also, make sure all your dependencies are ready. I'm actually curious, what is the stable release of Dart? Stable release of Dart SDK. As of I don't want to get it. I want to know what's the stable release. Yeah. All right. So as of release 1.17 stable, we've updated our release process, including changes to how we name releases and their download files. Okay. So saying the stable release channels 2.01, sorry, 2.0.2, bunch of things here, older SDKs. So they seem to maintain multiple branches. Oh, this is so complicated. It takes them so much time maybe to just fix bugs. I'm pretty sure not all of them are maintained at the same level. Some of them are just hot patched, like for vulnerabilities. And it's surprising, actually. I'm a bit surprised and a little bit disappointed, I guess. They're supporting that many versions at the same time. Or maybe they are not supporting all these versions. Maybe this is like a repository of old releases that are not being supported anymore. It's very possible. So let me actually, I want to step back and think what got me into this to start with. I believe it was the new widget that I was writing. Um, uh, yeah, the new widget that I was writing did not understand what this is. The optional, sorry, the nullable key. Yeah, I think this is what started it all. And after upgrading, it got fixed. Oh, I think maybe older SDK releases did not um, maybe accepted the syntax for older libraries. Oh, I'm a bit confused right now. Let's see. So I copied it from this file here. In fact, I can search for this file, text from field. I feel so. Just step back. I feel like it's doing a migration now is the wrong thing. I should just write the new widget in the old style, and then I can port my code all at once in one sweep instead of like feel like I'm dealing with two separate issues at this point. But I just want to verify what text form field looked like in the past. REPL analysis, scroll controller. More material, doc samples, removed. Can I see the differences between these versions on GitHub? I'm not 100% sure. Nope. This goes to the repository. Gosh, I hate this doing. No. Actually, you know what? I think I can do better than this. So if I go to text form field, I believe there is a blame here. I want to see when was the key here last changed? It was exactly, this is what I'm searching for. Migrate material to null safety. And the question is, what was that key before? Let's see, text form field, load the diff. Exactly. So I think, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue running the code. I'm gonna roll back the changes that I did that are related to null safety. I'm gonna roll back the upgrade that I did, and then I'm gonna go in and uh, try to continue on developing the widget that I set off building without um, null safety. I'll deal with null safety in another episode uh, of this series if I end up doing more. So let's do that. So how do I do this? This is gonna take some Git work. Basically a bunch of reverts. Git revert. Basically all changes except for that new widget that we have here. I'm actually not 100% sure I'm using the right git command, correct git command. Oh, actually it is here. Get checkout file to discard changes in the working directory. Duh. Here we go. So just I'm not sure about the lock. I don't want to edit the lock manually. Let me edit the YAML, and then well, reverting the lock should return me into a safe state, so I'll do that too. So right now back here, we should do. No, I don't think we need to do a pub sub. Sorry, pub sub get. Pub spec get. Oh, it has detected that it was edited. So I guess we need to run this. Did the lock file change? No, it didn't. So good. All right. Now, whoa. Oh no. I lost my progress. Okay, I can. Oh my goodness, it's so stupid because all the changes, all the relevant changes were in the working directory, not staged. I hate Git. I hate Git. Oh my god. Don't you hate it when this happens? I do. I certainly do. Alright, profile picture form field, blah, 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 blah. Good. So we don't have to repeat everything really, like we can carry, like we already have some wisdom about how we need to approach this. But yeah, very limited wisdom, but wisdom nonetheless. So we know we need to pass a key here and pass it to a super. And then the super has a semicolon at the end, and we pass the key to the key, and then it raises an error at some point saying like, oh, you need to pass a builder to the super, right? Don't I? I do. I'm not sure why I'm not getting that error, but anyways, builder. Well, actually, I want to get that error. It's just like, what's happening? Why am I not getting that error? So key, and then key, do you love me? Never mind. Builder this thing except for file and the builderberg. Oh, and just return the text that says to do a thing like that, just to get by. No. What else? We decided that we needed to also extend the state class. So here we can say profile picture. Form field state. It's form field state of file. Yay. And what else do we need to do? Actually, at this point, here's one nice way to keep track of our progress. You pick the profile picture form field and drop it in. Well, we have a lot of files open. I need to do a little bit of cleanup. So close all in group, close others. Then we have a profile editor. Split. Cool. So profile editor here we have, where the original or the current tree that represents the picture editor. We can pick and try to replicate it in the way, like in the eventual format that we want to have this. It's like, God damn it. That's what I'm trying to say. I need to explain it better, what I'm trying to do, but basically, this padding, or this widget tree that starts with padding here, it contains padding. No, starting here. No, it is actually the padding. It's really hard to read these trees. Exactly. This thing represents this portion. So like we're just going to add another one on top of it, just temporarily, while we're developing this widget, so we can see how far have we gone, like, like measure basically our progress developing this widget. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a padding here, like basically replicate what the eventual state will look like when the widget that we're writing is ready. Actually, no. The container will just keep in the widget itself. So what we're going to do, we're going to call profile picture form field, and we're going to construct it with no arguments, and it's returning an error because it is expecting one positional key argument, but 0 found. And I think the trick here is there was a way to say this is an optional or not required before the null safety changes. Yeah, what was that like for? take a look. Text form field. Yeah, so this is what I assumed that having this. Oh, I'm so sorry. Actually, um, the key and the builder are all named variables, so I need to enclose them with these brackets. We need one more here, I believe. Why is this returning an error now? Too many positional arguments. Well, oh, am I using a slightly different? Oh, I'm doing this completely wrong. So it's key, and oh, oh, sorry, I'm editing the wrong thing. What am I doing? Oh, goodness. I'm terrible today. I need to focus. I need coffee, actually. Let's see. So what we need to do is make these like that. And now, it should not return an error. Cool. Holy fucking shit. This took a long time. Okay, and now we have the widget here on the phone so we can track our progress porting the widget over. All right. How long have I been streaming? I've been streaming for 1 hour. And I made actually very little progress, but I guess I learned a little bit. I'm going to have to stop now, but I want to summarize where I'm at. So what happened is I started by creating the skeletal classes for for this new widget, profile picture form field. I stumbled upon the issue. I was like trying to copy the text form field implementation, but that implementation has ported over to the null safety or like adopted the null safety feature that was recently released in Dart. So I'm running on an older Dart SDK, and that kind of put me in a bit of a hole of like trying to upgrade my Dart SDK, upgrade everything. But then I realized it's the wrong path. I backed out. I figured out that I can do this later in in a more automated fashion. And for the time being, I will continue developing the class in the old style and port the whole app to like null safety features moving forward. So, yeah, I feel like honestly this is a typical programming session where like you set out to do something, but then you hit like a million obstacles. In this case, it's one obstacle. But yeah, nothing is gonna deter me. So stay tuned in my next stream. I'm not sure when that's gonna be. Maybe today, maybe later. I'm gonna go ahead with forging this profile picture form field. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.